Hi everyone. So my name is Christina. Where do I start? So I want to talk about the goodness of God. I want to talk about the journey I have been on. So currently, right now, I am in a motel. So I just want to go back of what I've been through, the struggles I have been going through. I faced a lot of trials and tribulation. I was living in my apartment for almost 6 years and 2 months on my own. I got my apartment back in 2018 by myself, and I moved into the apartment. I was living there, and I'm not gonna lie, that's not something I really wanted, but I was content with it. And then I got evicted from my apartment, and then I stayed with family. And then after that, that happened last year, and then I stayed with family. After staying with them and letting them know what was going on with me, waiting for workers' compensation to help me, still trusting God and believing what was going on, because of medical reasons. I'm not gonna say. After a whole year later, I got thrown out of that. I'm not going to go into details of that because it's not about, I'm not shaming nobody. That's not what I'm doing. I'm more showing what God is definitely doing within me. So, as I am leaving that, coming, back on my own, back on my feet, having my vehicle, just sitting in my vehicle, just crying out to God, just trusting in and believing what He's going to do for me, right? Then I was called to go to Georgia, do an assignment. Like, I always do an assignment that God always allowed me to do. So before leaving my apartment, I wasn't working because of medical reasons. I was working and something happened to me on the job. So anyway, so I went ahead and trusted. I didn't have no money to get to New York, but I trusted God for favor, and I was blessed to have funds to get to New York to do an assignment at my old church. I sent a message. The Holy Spirit came to me in a dream twice, and He confirmed that He wanted me to give a message to His people regarding about they need to change their wicked ways, the evil things that's going on. So I touch on Matthew chapter 4, verse 1. I think the whole chapter. And I don't have my notes here because in the storage, but I literally touch on a lot of things, and I was doing what God had called me to do. And I know a lot of people may not understand what God was doing through me. They probably did not understand that, and that was a year prior from getting kicked out. So that was in 2023. I have the video on my TikTok, and I have the video on my original Instagram page. So I did that, and that's how I got evicted a week before, well, I think a few days before Mother's Day weekend. And I was so emotional. I didn't have no help. Nobody didn't support me. I did get like one or two supports, and I'm just doing this by myself. Now moving to my family member, like moving into a space that I'm not accustomed in and stuff. I was grateful and I was thankful, and now God pulled me out of that and took me into a different season. So now I'm in my Job season where I lost my apartment. Funds are drying up from workers' comp now. All I have is the vehicle. I got bills that's piled up. Go to Georgia now, doing the assignment that God is calling me to do. Went out there. My best friend and I, we went out there, and her son. Prior to us going out there was for us to be able to move around, go to different hotels that God called us to do. One day, wake up, my car was gone in the state of New Jersey. In the state of Georgia, because I had New Jersey plates. So they took my car. So we don't have no car. I have no car, a place to stay to come back to Jersey. So I'm like, what is going on? And prior to all of that, I'm not gonna lie, in the midst of me having a relationship with Jesus Christ, I was angry, I was bitter, I didn't understand what was going on, I didn't understand why this was happening to me, I didn't understand, like, why me. But when you are chosen and you're called by God, you have to go through these trials and tribulations, the circumstances, right? So my best friend was talking to me and I was not even hearing her. I was just so angry, like so angry. On that trip, I was learned, like God, like it's like God was he was teaching me a lot. He taught me so much within myself. I had so much resentment, hate in my heart because of what my father did to me, how people treated me, how people mishandled me, because I would take the shirt off my back for anybody. And when your heart is so big and you have a heart of gold, people don't know how to cherish that. So it's like a lot of things that God was teaching me in Georgia. And I had to sit there at his altar. And there's a lot of things that I had to renounce to God that's on my family bloodline. I had to call it by name. Breaking generational curses. It was a lot of lust, perversions, a lot of hatred in my family, a lot of jealousy, a lot of enviness, no support, no genuine love. Like, I didn't know what love was until God showed me what agape love was. Trying to find yourself, just telling God how you really feel, the relationship, the dynamics with my parents, growing up in a Caribbean household, I never heard I love you. I never heard I'm proud of you. All I heard was from my dad always belittled me, always told me I would never become nothing, never to be amount to anything. So I'm sharing my story about homelessness, and I do my own hair. I take care of my skin. People think when you are homeless that you gotta go through what people really look like. I can't speak about the people when they looking rough on the rough edges. That's not what God had for me. I do my own hair. I made sure I look presentable and put together. Oh yeah, I was going to beauty school and God called me out of that from beauty school. So like he's about to transition me, leaving New Jersey, go to another state. So like I'm trusting God in everything in this season. I am in, like, when the season, the story of Job, where Job lost everything. That's just how I felt. I felt like I was on top. I had everything, money, my apartment, my car, everything. My phone is off. My car is gone. My apartment is gone. Now something is wrong with my money. Now something is wrong with my bank account. It was just like a lot of things is just going on. But if you guys look at me, you will never know that I'm homeless. You will never know. You probably would think this is just my regular bedroom. And not my parents know, but I try not to ask them for anything. My siblings don't even know what I go through day in, day out. Just being in stillness. Just trusting God and what he is doing in my life. Calling me, like the calling that's on my life. People don't have no idea. They don't even know who Jesus is. They don't even know who God is because they don't have a relationship with him. And I just want to share my story so people can understand. I'm smiling, baby.